Hello, I'm jaxriley, and this is the start of a second part of a series that I started before a couple months ago, where my song Ain't That Something, I had a video breaking down how I came up with all the parts of the song, lyrics, guitar parts, drums, etc. And this is the first part where I explain how I came up with the lyrics and how to generally write lyrics, how I write lyrics and structure lyrics around your story, to the song I just released a week and a half ago called Where Did Your Love Go? Now, if you want to listen to the song, it is of course on this YouTube channel. You can find links to it through this video, and if all else fails, you can look up Where Did Your Love Go by jaxriley, and you should be able to find it, maybe. But so of course listen to the song before or after this. So I'll explain how my rhyming schemes, structures of how I come up with songs, and where the story of the song came from. So this is a little bit of a unique song when it comes to me writing country music, because normally I write the chorus first, and it's more of I wrote the lyrics and the melody before I wrote any type of riff or instrumental part. But this song in particular, the riff in the beginning of the song, and that plays a lot in the song, is the first thing I wrote in this song. So the part that goes at the beginning, I kind of came up with that first, and it was kind of weird. I think it was like a Saturday morning, and my parents had came over to drop something off at my house, and they were over for like 10 minutes or so, and like right before they pulled up, it kind of came across my head, that riff, and then like the whole time they were there, I was like, please leave. Like in my mind, I was milling like, please leave, because like, in the musical world, it's kind of unless if you have something like a song idea or a riff in your head and you don't like write it down, pretty soon it'll like leave your brain forever. But if you like play it on the piano like I did when they left, or write the lyrics down, or film yourself singing it or something like that, it'll just be gone forever. But luckily I caught it, and that's kind of how the song goes. If you'll notice, listen to the song, the kind of matches the way the chorus is sung, because this chorus goes, oh, where does your love go? And I've been sitting here all alone. So that's kind of how that came apart. And so the story of the song, I like to kind of drive some form of narrative in basically every song I write. And really, I kind of came up with the lyrics. The choruses kind of went separately from the verses. I wrote the verses after the choruses, of course. But this in general, this is kind of a cheating song, and it's a little bit different than most cheating songs, because it's kind of one where it's like nonchalant. Doesn't seem like a big deal. Like the narrator, the guy, the husband in the story, is like, he thinks it's a big deal, but the woman in the story is kind of like, oh well, too bad, kind of thing. And so the inspiration for this song's lyrics kind of, this is going to sound mean, I'm really sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but it is, a lot of it is about, I'm from a small town, and this type of thing happens everywhere, but it always seems like there's a lot of people and like you have groups of people that they have kids with each other, and like maybe they don't get married, or they get married and they divorce after a couple years. And you also have groups of people where they get divorced, but they don't get divorced till like maybe 15 years into their marriage, when their kids are like in high school and stuff like that. And like it seems like when you're divorced and you have kids and you live in a small town, it seems like there's like a group of maybe 50 people or so that end up being in relationships with each other. It's almost like you'll see somebody with like two divorced people with each other, and then like the next month they're like with another set of people, it's like they're playing like free agency, and I don't mean to insult anybody, but like, it's just like, in my mind, that's what I think of. I'm like, they're with them now. And sometimes single people with no kids, it's the same way, but it seems different for some reason when, I don't know, when you're in a small town, I guess, because like, if you have kids, there's only like so far you're probably willing to go to like meet somebody new, so that's kind of the way it goes. Like I said, it happens everywhere, but you just notice it in a small town because you know more people. But and it's also kind of like the commonality of divorce in the last 3-4 decades or so. Like I'm a Christian, and we think divorce is wrong except for a couple reasons basically, and it's just a fact of life. Even 20 years ago, when I was the group of 25-year-old or 20 or 25 kids that I grew up with pretty much at school, like maybe only a third of us actually lived with our parents, or lived with both sets of our parents. And since then, I think a couple of those sets of parents have probably been divorced since then. I know one has, at least. But it's just a common way of life, and that's just the way it is. I believe Alabama is where I'm at, of course. Alabama, I believe, is either the first state or one of the first states to legalize like no-fault divorces. Used to there had to been like some form of decent reason to be divorced, and people would travel to Alabama to get divorced, and that's just kind of, now it's legal everywhere, and it's kind of a fact of life. And I'm not trying to be preachy, but like that's kind of what led to the song, like, familiarity with people around town, and like, just common ways of divorce. This guy's here, he's moving out, let's bring a new one in, kind of thing. And life is more complicated than that. But this is also a song, and it's kind of a silly song, so I can make my own rules. So the song, Where Did Your Love Go? So the chorus goes, oh, where did your love go? And I've been sitting here all alone. I know it's gone somewhere, but all around town it's just not fair. And all I wanna do is treat you right, and tell me who you're gonna be tomorrow night. So right there, where did your love go? And I kind of randomly came up with that. And even though those words don't rhyme, they're catchy. And they're catchy because a lot of songs, they will repeat the same words over again, but there will be a different melody the second time they say them. So, whoa, where, oh, where. So you're saying the same words over again, but you're using a different melody. It's like there's a Red Hot Chili Peppers song where it goes, how long, how long? So it's like really catchy because the melody changed. So, did your love go? I've been sitting here all alone, home alone, like the movie. It's a straight up rhyming scheme. The last song I had, Ain't That Something, had a little bit more of an indirect rhyming scheme. But this one is right there, and I think that's why it makes it a little bit more catchy in my mind. And then the second part is, I know. Same thing, changing the melody, repeating the words. It's gone somewhere. I've heard all around town, and it's just not fair. So it's gone somewhere, and fair, again, straight up rhyming scheme. So, and then technically the third set of lyrics in the chorus is, all I want to do is treat you right, tell me who you're going to be tomorrow night. So right at night, straight up rhyme. It's my favorite rhyming scheme. You have lines of lyrics, first line, second line rhyme, third line, fourth line rhyme. It's by far the most popular way to rhyme. And like I've said in other videos, you have ways to go first and third line rhyme, second and fourth line rhyme. You have 3 lines on the verses, and all 3 lines rhyme. There's a whole bunch of ways to do it. Sometimes you don't even have to rhyme, just being poetic, saying words. But I definitely like to rhyme because people find it very catchy, and I do too. So, and I could have gone a different direction at the end of the chorus and went, all I want to do is treat you right, tell me where you're going to be tomorrow night. So, and that sounded kind of weird, like he's going to beat her when she comes home, or he's going to go find her and drag her back to his house or something like that. So I ended up going with, tell me who you're going to be tomorrow night, trying to make it sound like his wife is like flip-flopping on him, kind of. And it still rhymed. So I had a hard time figuring out a way to rhyme there. So we go into the verse, and the verse is straight narrative. The chorus is kind of summarizing the story we'll figure out. It's weird because I made the chorus first. A lot of times you hear the first verse before you hear the first chorus, but in this song we'll have 3 choruses and 2 verses. So very strange song structure. I have a chorus, a verse, and then a second verse, and then the second chorus, and then the third chorus. So so going to the first verse, it's kind of very, very similar vocal, like melody wise, to the chorus. So it goes, well, I need you and you need me. You came as a surprise to the family. Said you got a new man, which sounded kind of scary. Last time I checked, I thought we were married. What made you think you could be so defiant? Wanna be like everybody and just keep crying, just keep lying. Sorry, not crying, lying. So I need you and you need me. No rhyming there. So that's why it came as a surprise to the family. So me and family. This is kind of a really fast verse, not like rapping, but like really quick verse. Goes right there. Not even a whole lot of chord changes with it because it's so fast. So very simple. We're driving the narrative of this guy's in love with his wife, of course, and she's, turning it around on him. And probably not completely his fault, as you'll see in the second verse. But that's why it came as a surprise to the family, his kids, and his relatives. Said you got a new man, which sounded kind of scary. Last time I checked, I thought you were married. So, and then what made you think you could be so defiant? Why not be like everybody and just keep lying? So, I kind of just threw those words together because they rhymed. Why not be like everybody else and just keep lying? But later after I wrote it, it kind of was one of those things that kind of seemed deeper than it really did, So it's kind of like, why not hide the fact that you don't want to be with me anymore and just keep being with me, which it's definitely the wrong way to think, but if he lives in his own illusion, maybe it won't be such a big deal, So then we have a little instrumental break and it goes right into the second verse. And I did this weird because the first verse was so fast. I was like, I don't want to go back in the chorus so soon. So let's do 2 verses right there before we go to the second chorus. So I'm going to have to look at my lyrics here because I've already forgotten what they were in the second verse. And this is kind of like where it turns on him. He's not completely innocent. And he said, I didn't care and that I didn't listen. And some other stuff I wasn't paying attention. Said she told me this about 3 weeks ago. I guess she figures that I'll just go. She said I better not have to tell you again that I need to get out so he can move in. So that's the second verse. And said I didn't care and that I didn't listen. That's, I guess bad husbandry. Maybe not necessarily a reason to leave somebody, but... And then he says some other stuff like that, I wasn't paying attention. And that's kind of like my attempt to be funny right there. Because it's kind of like, she said I didn't care and that I didn't listen. So he's prone to not listening. And then he says, and some other stuff like that, I wasn't paying attention. So, I don't know. Some people might have thought it was funny, but you never know. I'm a musician, not a comedian. That's for sure. And then it goes, and of course, this whole song is, I got lucky with the way I wrote these lyrics because every bit of these lyrics are all straight line rhyming scheme. I was able to, it's always cool when you can drive the song's narrative and you don't have to like cram words in without them necessarily rhyming with what you're trying to do, So I got lucky there. And she says she told me this about 3 weeks ago. Then again, not paying attention. I guess she figures that I'll just go. I'll go and go. And so it's pointing towards she's leaving him, found somebody else already, get out of my house. So really quick and simple narrative. And that's basically the end of the narrative. It goes into, she said I better not have to tell you again that I need to get out so he can move in. That's pretty much the whole narrative because after that we go into the second chorus, which repeats the first chorus. And then we have a guitar solo, then piano solo, then steel guitar solo, which I personally thought was cool. Of course, I wrote the song, so even if it wasn't cool, I'd think it was cool. and then then it goes into a bridge. And this is kind of a weird artistic choice in my mind, because I normally put bridges in songs, but this bridge, if you listen to the song, is like a complete instrumental break. It goes from really up tempo. I mean, the song's still up tempo, and all the instruments are playing. It's just got done with this energetic solo, and then it's back down to all it's doing is playing acoustic guitars. And then I go, well, I guess only time will tell if there's a happy ending to this tale. Now I'm looking from the outside, and I don't like what I see or what you're doing to me. And then it goes into the last chorus, which is the same as the first two choruses. So here, oh, well, I guess only time will tell if there's a happy ending to this tale. Now I'm looking from the outside, and I don't like what I see. Why won't you see what you're doing to me? So at the end it goes see and me's rhyming. So this is a really weird lyric structure here, because I felt like playing through that chord progression 4 times was too short. And then I was like, 5 sounds perfect for what I'm trying to sing. But with that being said, it ends up being the first and second line rhyme and the fourth and fifth line rhyme, but the third line is just independent, which, like I said, however it sounds in your brain, then make it happen and don't worry about the rules most of the time. So it's kind of like, this song is kind of a jovial song, but it happens to be about something dark. And the narrator has kind of the dark moment in the song. And I liked it because I drew inspiration from kind of like a lot of 90s grunge songs when they first a lot of rock songs kind of had that. The song starts off really quiet, and then it's extremely loud, and then really quiet, and then extremely loud. And I love that dynamic. But in the sense of this song, it's really energetic, and then it suddenly goes to completely different song. And it's my favorite part of the song whenever it goes back into the third chorus, and it goes back into all the instrumentals and the upbeat beat. But like I said, this is kind of like it ain't that something. It's kind of it's not something he's literally saying to somebody. It's like in his mind, why won't you see what you're doing to me? So that's pretty much the song. I hope you learned something. Try to like and subscribe to this channel. Got a couple more subscribers. Decent amount of people watching. Oddly, it seems like more people watch these videos than actually listen to my music, which is kind of strange. But I'll take it how I can get it. So thank you for watching.